fruity and sweet. Welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. My name is Horst Lüning. I'm the master taster of Whisky.com, and today we taste the Dalwhinnie Distillers Edition. And the Dalwhinnie is part of the classic malt of Scotland. And I think if you're interested in single malt whiskey and Scotch single malt whiskey, then you will know the Dalwhinnie, 15 years old. And I looked up in my vlog and I found out that I omitted this bottle. So I have to taste it quite real soon now. And well, I know how it tastes, and it's a good one. It is one of the older ones, which are still affordable. And well, then they put those 15-year-old whiskies for another 6 months, roughly 6 months, in Oloroso sherry cask, and they produce with this finishing the Distillers Edition of the Dalwhinnie. And this one is vintage 1995, and every year there's a new vintage. And this is already gone for a few years now, but the changes over the batches, well, they are present, but they are not that dominant that you can say, "Ooh, I have to have the 1996 or the 1995, and the newest, the 1997 probably, is not the one you have to look for." So this one is bottled in 2011, 16 years old, and I think they have the normal process to choose the 15-year-old Dalwhinnie, and if they have casks which are not intense enough because they are third fill or fourth fill or whatever, no fourth fill or third fill, then they say, well, we have to increase the taste of these casks by adding well, a finishing period in Oloroso sherry casks, and then also these weaker casks or these less matured casks will be good for the connoisseur. I'm afraid these whiskies are colored even when they are finished, and they are quite dark after those finishing in fresh sherry casks and wet sherry casks, but officially they are colored. The card box says an exquisite selection of double matured malt whiskies chosen from the very finest of Scotland's distilleries. And then there are those 4 icons here. And quite often people ask, what does this mean, those icons? Well, there's the first one, shows the symbol of the distillery. There are 3 thistles. The second one is from the founding year of the distillery, but I'm seeing an R, so no idea what that means. The foundation date is not there. No. Around here? No. 1898. The next one is the initials. The last one is the initials of the distillery manager. No, the still master. And the third one, OL, means the cask for finishing the Oloroso sherry cask. Yeah, something like this. From the highest distillery in Scotland, set in the windswept Grampian Mountains with their unlimited supply of fresh spring water, comes this delightful, gentle, delicately smoky malt. That's not true. This is not the highest distillery in Scotland. It's always cited in the books that it's the highest, but it's only 312 meters in elevation. But they are in the Glenlivet, in the Glen of the Livet, the uplying distilleries lie higher than Dalwhinnie. I'm afraid it's not true. And smoky malt, well, we will see whether this one is smoky or not. It is one of the highest distilleries, and that means the whiskey which is maturing there, the casks are breathing a lot. In the winter when it's cold, the whiskey, the alcohol-water mixture, the whiskey is compressing a lot, and about a few percent, I think, and is tearing fresh air into the cask, fresh oxygen for oxidization of the non-oxidized parts of the whiskey, of the aromas. And in summer, it heats up to a 20 or 25 degrees centigrade, and then the alcohol, or the mixture of alcohol and water, expands again, presses the air out of the casks, and in next winter, this cycle repeats. And for 15 years, so there's an extreme exchange between the air from the outside and inside the cask. So the maturation is quite strong, and therefore the 15 years give a lot of maturation in those casks. The marriage of cask wood and whiskey has always been a traditional tool of the distiller's craft, but the addition of a second maturation in selected cask woods brings a new depth and complexity to these great malt whiskies. Each special limited edition is hallmarked as a symbol of rarity and superior quality. They are sold container-wise. Yeah. Okay, this is it. And now we're looking inside the bottle. A perfect cap. Wonderful. Sherry, but no smokiness. I tasted the Dalwhinnie several times, and especially as the Distillers Edition, and I have to say, is one of my favorite, really. It's priced around between 50 and 60 euros. The price has gone down a little bit over the last 10 years because the amount of whiskey on the market grew and grew. And in the last years, the prices rose again a little bit, but not too much. So it's a great value for 50 to 60 euros. Fruity and sweet. And then there is a mixture between those sherry fruits, which are darker and riper, and a citrus fruit from the distillery character. And I think this one has 43%. All Dalwhinnies are bottled at 43. And this 3% alcohol more gives it just the right power to fill your nose. It's very pleasant. But they always say also on the back of the card box that there is a lot of heather in the Dalwhinnie. But I'm afraid either I'm not able to taste heather or there's no heather in it. Dark fruit combines with sweetness and citrus. warm, mouth-filling, and then this citrus note, and then sweetness coming up. And the oakiness appearing, a little oakiness showing through, just spiciness, no bitterness. This is the advantage of a finishing period, because the finishing in intense fresh casks just gives the first aromas out of the cask, which means a lot of fruit from the sherry itself, and then immediately vanilla and caramel, which might show the sweetness in this whiskey. And the long-term sherry, the spiciness showing through, has to come from the 15 years of maturation in ex-bourbon casks, in ex-hogsheads, whatever they used. And those ex-bourbon casks, this American white oak is not that bitter as the European oak is. Really, one of the very, very best. It's so complex, it's so friendly, welcoming, it's so rewarding in the aftertaste. For some people, this is not that intense, not that sherry laden as it should be. It's not first fill sherry. No, it's not. It's definitely an old whiskey, 15 years of age, or 16 years of age, which is quite unnormal for a modern whiskey. And it's finished in Oloroso sherry cask, which gives this dark fruitiness in combination with the light fruitiness of the distillery character of Dalwhinnie. Yeah. Quite oily, not burning, rewarding. And whenever you are a friend of the Dalwhinnie 15 years old, you should have a look at this Distillers Edition, which might be on the market now with a vintage of 1999 or 2000 or 2001, whatever. It does not matter which vintage you get. It's the finishing which brings the difference to this whiskey. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. There's more to come, and up in the next weeks I have to taste this Dalwhinnie 15 years old again. And, well, stay tuned and share this video.